Yo guys, and welcome to my review of episodes 49, 50 and 51, aka the season finale of Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush. The duels between Yuga and Damamu and Yugioh and Yugioh. And a lot has happened in these 3 weeks. So I guess we should probably just start with kind of the general thoughts. It was really just an incredible finale. I think this whole last arc has been really good. But let's, I guess, kind of go at the beginning here, where we see Yugioh show up and kind of we have this idyllical war between him and Yugioh. One moment that I loved in that first episode was when Yugioh calls Yugioh out and says, "Okay, we can try, but tell me, have you even thought of a way to stop rush duels in a, a non-war type sense, right? Like, how can we use rush duels to stop the war peacefully?" And I mean, if you think about it, there isn't really a easy way to do that, apart from actually just showing people how to rush duel. What else? How can you use the war in a completely different way? So I loved that aspect of it, and the whole idea of this battleship rush duel, where we have all of these 4 ships turn into dual discs, very similar to the end of Sevens, but still made in a original way, which I really liked. The Yuga Damamu duel, was that completely needed? Kind of, realistically the only reasons we had that duel was firstly to not let Yugioh be able to destroy Valvelgir, right? Yeah, because if Damamu wasn't happy, having fun dueling, Yugioh would have basically killed everyone on Valvelgir. And the other reason to have this duel happen was just kind of to bring Yuga and Lug for that final scene at the very end of this duel. But some cool moments obviously did happen there. We see that Yuga rescued Manabu and Rovian, and it was at that point our main 4 from Sevens, and then the fact that he summoned Roman, Gakuto and Luke's aces, then fused Tragius and Seventh Road into Seventh Gias. That was all really cool and really great, but realistically Yuga was there just to kind of be used for the 7th book plot of it all, even though he didn't really contribute much in that sense. He just kind of pushed Yugioh to continue fighting, but still, that part, I think it was solid. Was it completely needed? No, but I'm not mad that we had that. And the fact that the duel ended in a draw, with Yuga drawing Kuribot and Yuki drawing Tamabot. Very cool. Now the actual main part of this finale, Yugioh versus Yugioh. This, I will say, I think this duel would have been a lot more hype if either Yugioh won the last duel, or at least if the last duel was a draw, going into this with Yugioh winning. Despite the fact that yes, Yugioh did let Yugioh win that first duel, but still, kind of probably would have worked better if the first result was something a little bit different. But again, overall, that was fine. So we learn throughout this duel that someone called the Creator, or as I think everyone is sure now, Otis, has been acting very much so like a puppet master this whole time. which we had that theory during 7s, but not to the extreme that he has here, right? In 7s we kind of just thought, oh, he's using Yugioh and everyone to fulfill some kind of plan, which there at the end turned out to be destroying Rush Duels. But here we see a much darker plan, where he basically created Valgir and the people of Valgir, and he basically put a curse on them where they are not even real. They're just something that he made artificially in order to fight, and every time they die, they resurrect in that, obviously very famous relic from 7s. And the interesting thing firstly about that is this now confirms that not only did Yugioh die during both the war and last arc against the Lug, but also that means that in the second arc Yugioh died when he tried to get to Rovian and Yuna. So now this whole, every time we've seen a shirt up until now, it makes it kind of even more dark, right? Like Gorush has kind of just out of nowhere gotten so much darker, which I love to see, right? We never thought that this show would get to any kind of dark level. So now seeing that, it's really great, and I love the fact that we are here and that we are, that basically Bridge is kind of growing up with its viewers in a sense, right? Where basic 7s was definitely a bit more kid-friendly, it was more grounded, right? Since we stayed mostly on Earth and, we were following basically elementary school kids. But now we are, in space, we're fighting wars and maniacs who is basically resurrecting people that have died continuously. It's definitely a much darker plot than we expected, I think, Bridge to go, at least this early on, but I mean, I love to see it and it's great. And, just the connections between Gorush and 7s are so more apparent now, where we finally get a bit more on the 7s book. However, what's interesting is, so the legend of the King of Duels is different here. I should have wrote down the exact same quote, but it kind of changed, where in the original 7's book, the start of it was like during the night of a full moon, duelist will appear and carve a road to become the King of Duels, something like that. While in this, it was when a celestial body shows up above Earth, a warrior will appear to and carve open a path with Rush Duels, something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it's similar but still changed, which at that point implies one of two things: either that the relic was changed sometime during history, or that there's multiple relics. I feel like it's probably the first one, right, where it was just changed, because we literally saw Yugioh carve a thing in the relic. So yeah, that's kind of my thought there. But I mean, just the whole finale was crazy. The final scene, Yugioh's final turn, I should say, was incredible. Where we have the opening start. Yuki and Yuamu fuse monsters together. It was a little bit excessive. Yugioh could have just summoned one more monster, but he summoned Tabula Rasa. I mean, it didn't change anything, but sure. So they fuse together during the opening. He activates the effect, and then the fact that music cuts while Yugioh and Yugioh have this serious moment where we have a callback to when they've had their first interaction on screen for us, which was after that Mitsuko duel, where Yugioh says it's that part of you, Yugioh, that I hate, and Yugioh basically uses that against him. Yugioh is about to say the same thing again, and Yugioh says it's that part of you, Yugioh, that I love, and it's a great callback and just such a good scene. And then the fact that there's no music throughout everything, and then it starts up again for the final attack. I thought that was really, really good. Both the monsters, Gigantomachia and Eternal Galactic Oblivion, are awesome aces. The design-wise, obviously they are still very much the same cards, but I think they look a lot better, right, than the normal ones. And the end is interesting, because it seems like we are not going to get anything from the war. I mean, I'm sure we might get a few flashbacks of Yugioh and Yugioh during the war, right, throughout the next season, but it won't have too big of a focus next season. And we know that Yugioh is instantly returning, and there's probably gonna be a time skip. Now, what's interesting is obviously we got the poster for season 2, in which Yuhi has a ponytail and him and Yomu have different outfits now, but in the preview they kind of look normal, so we'll see what happens with that. But overall, such a solid season 1. I mean, overall, I was gonna make a separate video for it, but I'll do this all in one video. This whole season has been incredible. I would say this probably is the best season of Bridge Yu-Gi-Oh we had. I think that, every season so far has definitely had a lot of great stuff, but now seeing the connection of not only everything that has happened in this season 1, but the fact that it connects with everything from 7s, I don't know, I really, really love it. And I think, whatever your favorite season of Bridge Yu-Gi-Oh we've had so far, I think it's all completely valid. Kind of also really quick wanted to go over a few standouts that I had during the season 1. Firstly, as far as favorite duels, I mean, I think it has to go to this, right, to this finale. The only other duel I would consider is the last arc finale against the Lug. I think those two duels you could take whichever one. You could probably actually even lead towards the Lug one, because the first 2 episodes of this were Yugioh, just summoning other people's aces, which some people love that, some people don't. So, I think you could definitely debate which of those 2 you prefer. Yugioh as a villain was incredible. It's something that we needed throughout 7s, and the fact that we finally had it. I saw a lot of people mad that, oh, he turned good again, but it's not the same. It took us a whole season to do it, and it was actually done in a good way. It's not like, oh, he was just defeated and then he turned good. There was, an actual plot and good reasoning as to why that happened. So, villain-wise, Yugioh was incredible. And I mean, Yugioh obviously was great throughout the whole season. I do wish he dueled a little bit more, but if I had to say who my favorite character was of season 1, I think I've made this pretty clear at this point, but it has to be Manabu. I think he was developed, especially at those first 3 arcs. He was incredible. Maybe he didn't do as much this last arc, but still, I think the development he and Yendestar got together was so good. and I'm excited to see more, right? I mean, hopefully we can see more of that. Hopefully we see characters like Kawaii Tell and Bochi and, you know, Fisher Sky, who have dueled only once so far, get at least one more duel. I'm very excited to see where this will go. Next week we're getting the next ending and openings themes, so yeah, overall I'm super excited to see where the show will go. And yeah, that's it. Those were my thoughts on the season 1 finale and the season as a whole. Tell me your guys' thoughts. Did you love this finale? Did you hate it? Was there something you would have wished was done differently? Or did you think it was basically perfect and that there isn't much you would change? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video.